What's good, YouTube? Dom, Statement Sports Cards here, back with another video. Hope you're all doing well. And I have now returned from the 2024 National Sports Collectors Convention in beautiful Cleveland, Ohio. I got in late Saturday. My flight was delayed on the way home. And then I took Sunday to just hang out with the fam and relax from the week that was. It was a lot of travel, a lot of late nights, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. I know you're going to see a lot of complaints across the hobby, those of you that didn't go, about the logistics from this year's National, whether that be traveling to and from everything or the crowd control at the convention center in Cleveland. The lines for traffic, the bathroom, the VIP section, the trade nights after. And while they do have merit, I'm not going to harp on those things because the National was still one of the best times of my hobby life. And it's not just because you're at the biggest card show in America and you get to see so many different amazing things that you don't get to see anywhere else, cards and memorabilia-wise, athletes, etc. But on top of it, it's the friendships. It's the people that I've gotten to connect with through this YouTube community that not just enrich my daily hobby life, but enrich the experience of attending a show like this. This is the hobby mecca, and for those of us in this community, it truly is a family reunion. It is Christmas in July. It is all those amazing things. So I'm going to get into my recap of the show here. But thank you to each and every one of you, whether you make videos or just watch them, that came up to me and had conversations throughout the week. I really appreciate your time, and it was really awesome to shake your hands, whether I was meeting you in person for the first time or reuniting with you for the first time in a year or two. It was truly special, and I'm going to tag as many people in the comments below as I can. If I don't mention you in this video or tag you below, I apologize. There was so many people that I had the pleasure of speaking with and just not enough time. I wish I could have had more time to talk to everybody, as well as the people that I didn't even get a chance to get around to that I would have loved to say hi to and talk to a little bit here and there at the various get-togethers and at the show. Without further ado, though, you guys came here to see the cards, and the cards start with the thumbnail because Memory Lane Auction was allowing you to see and hold what I believe is truly the grail of the baseball card hobby, the T206 Wagner. So me and Dave, Legends of the Dugout, just as we did last year for the Babe Ruth game used bat, went right over to their station and were some of the first in line to see, hold, and take pictures with it. But seeing and holding it as big of a hobby moment that was for me to be able to do that, I couldn't leave the show without owning a T206 Wagner. And mine is a Piedmont back with a Heine front. So I got the T206 Heine Wagner bat on left shoulder Piedmont cigarettes from 1909. Yes, I own an authentic T206 Wagner. Now, those of you that are wondering about this card, I didn't just pick it out because it's a beautiful image with the blue sky and the green grass and the pose with the Boston Red Sox uniform, but I picked this card out specifically because I had one T206 in my collection. It was actually a Cleveland player, Neil Ball, who was holding the ball with his bare hand, no glove. And Jake, my good friend, who's become like a hobby brother to me, is doing the monster over at Legends Never Die. He's completing this set. So he didn't have the Neil Ball, and I said, well, this needs to go to him. So I gave it to him in our never-ending trade series, and I said, hey, I'll get another T206 down the line. The Hall of Famers, as many of you know, are very expensive, so I decided to look at the Red Sox and see what poses I liked from the Red Sox players, and this one really stuck out to me. And then the obvious assumption here in the play on words is that I get to say I own a 1909 authentic T206 Wagner. I can even go all the way to H. Wagner. for Heine. So if you know me and you know how I collect, that's just a really awesome thing to check off. And this is a beautiful example of a 2 that Jake actually scored for me at a card show local to him and handed it off to me in Cleveland, so I could say I got a T206 Wagner at the National. And man, does that look good in that wood card stand. So I'm sure many of you have seen these beauties, and they are made by one of our other roomies, the Drew of Vintage Legacy. Drew made these by hand out of all different kinds of wood, and he is selling these. So you've seen these on other people's YouTube videos as well. Drew was gracious enough to bless me with these 2. And you can go out there and support the Drew, as he has some sets still available. So I'm going to leave a link to his channel in the description below. And if you're interested in displaying your vintage cards beautifully in these low-profile displays, reach out to Drew, and he'll hook you up. He is a great dude. I was blessed to finally meet him in person. Jake, Drew, myself, and Sammy Thunder were the crew for the week, driving around in Jake's truck. Jake was super gracious, being our chauffeur everywhere. And all 3 of them, truly brothers to me in this hobby that I got even closer with during this week. I had so many great memories with them. A bunch of hobby heroes and guys that I'm truly blessed to have gotten to know through this great platform. Sammy not only blessed me with this Transagram custom card that he made that is signed, but with a 1971 Red Sox schedule. And Sammy is such a sweetheart that he didn't just give me a custom, but he also took some of my money before I even left for Cleveland, because me and him made an agreement for this 1958 San Francisco Call Bulletin Orlando Cepeda rookie. Man, I've wanted this card for a long time, and I'm just so honored to own it. Sammy picked this up back in Strongsville when he didn't even know what the set was, and I reached out to him just because private sales don't get posted on VCP or eBay, and just asked him what he paid for it because it had been on my eBay Save Search list for a while. And Sammy got a hell of a deal on this thing, so I kind of put it in his ear that if he gets the maze in this set and ever thinks to sell the Cepeda, that I'd be his guy. And lo and behold, Sammy and his amazing maze haul that he got ended up getting that maze from the 58 San Francisco Call Bulletin set and reached out to me, and we worked out a deal for this card. Now, these were through the newspaper, and they were for cash and merchandise prizes. You would take this lottery number down here, and you would cut off the stub, and you would submit it to try to win. Now, on the back is the Giants schedule, and on the front is a player. And they did the entire Giants team from 1958. Only Hall of Famers being Mays, which is very expensive, and the Cepeda, which is a rookie year. And these are just incredibly tough to find with the stub still attached between PSA and SGC. There's only 22 of these bad boys, and I'm blessed to own one of them, even more so to get it from a friend. And you see that there. Between the stands and the 2 cards, before I even set foot on the show floor, I had a hell of a show. These 4 items here from my crew, just really awesome, and I appreciate you guys a lot. Thank you for a great week. But they weren't the only guys I met. I met a ton of others that I will tag in the comments below, but there was generosity in terms of people that were handing out customs. I'm building my iconic Al Super collection. He gave me the rookie that I did not have. He has a new T205 custom that Scott Ranger Studios made, and he creased up himself, as well as the minty variation that will be heading to SGC very soon. Al's brother Brian has a channel, the High Pop Professor. I got to meet him finally, so you can scan that QR code and check him out on YouTube, and these are numbered to 50. Brian, was great getting to talk to you, and I'm glad you were able to find some 90s stuff when you weren't sure you were going to be able to. We were in Cleveland, so the man who hosted us all Scott over at Ranger Studios had a new lineup of custom cards. The Don Mossy. This puppet was actually made by his wife, who I was lucky enough to meet as well. Really sweet family from everybody's best friend. So that puppet has its own card with a stick of gum on the back. Roy Campanella, he made this for Jesse over at Think Blue 77 and then made these cards for everyone else. Really awesome pose there, Roy. Bryce Harper, he did for opening day, and then went across the majors doing a player from each team as like a diamond star. And then he had a vending machine at the Thursday night get-together, 50 cents per custom, and I got one I didn't have, the Roy Hobbs, the natural, and Scott even inscribed it for me, not Eddie Waitkiss, because I know a lot of people know that the natural is based off of the life of Eddie Waitkiss, but this player, Roy Hobbs, is not Eddie Waitkiss, and Eddie Waitkiss did not hit a ball that shattered that light stand like he did in the movie. So, Scott, awesome seeing you again, my friend. Thank you for the customs. I got to see Rocket Rick J again, and Scott also had a hand in this custom as well with Mickey Mantle. Really cool. My guy Lou Rock TV got back to the National this year. I met him in Atlantic City, and it was great to hang with you again, brother. You had an amazing show, and we're handing out these 84 Topps Tiffany's to different YouTubers, and I was blessed to get a Hall of Famer here in Tony Perez, my second ever Tiffany card. Jared over at Average Braves Fan said he found this in the trash and wanted to give it to me. Well, one man's trash, Jared, is another man's treasure. I picked up another Marcus Semien card at the National. I really appreciate it, brother. I've been building a nice PC of him. If you know, you know. John over at Wade Boggs Fan has a new custom with Wade Boggs. This one has the YouTube Sports Card Hall of Fame inscription and patch on the card. Really cool, John. Awesome talking to you again, brother. I got to meet Eddie from Eddie's Cardboard Chaos, and he landed this on me, the Man of Steel, with a nice little write-up and picture on the back. Eddie's a great guy. It was awesome getting to know you, and you checked a lot of your boxes, so I was happy for you, brother. Victor, over the Rookie Card Specialist, handed me the card, which not only had that, but had stickers and a QR code, which you can scan right now for the link to his book on Amazon. He published a book on rookie cards, and it is available for purchase now. I'm super proud of Victor. He put a lot of time and research into it. He's super passionate about the hobby and about rookie cards, and you can go order the book now on Amazon and support a great YouTuber. I even got support from somebody who isn't on YouTube and has never met me. Tom, a viewer of Sammy Thunders, handed him these cards and said, hey, give these to Dom next time you see him. 1990 Baseball Greats Swell of Carl Yastrzemski. The 1970 Top Scratch Off Carl Yastrzemski, which I did not have yet. And a beautiful 1970 Top Super Carl Yastrzemski. So, Tom, I really appreciate your support of Sammy and myself, and the gifts were totally unnecessary, but very much appreciated. Thank you. I also got this 92 Donruss Elite Series Roberto Alomar from James Elite Hunters. We worked this out from a past giveaway that James lost the card. So thank you, James. It was awesome to see you set up at the show. You were kind of a home base for a lot of us YouTubers to come by and chat and to meet up at. I got my first submission from Double D, grading the 2007 Daisuke Matsuzaka, which many of you know was the first rookie I ever chased, and it's an iconic set to me that's very nostalgic. And Dylan does a great job with these slabs in the Zion slabs. He gave this an 8 with 91 centering out of 100. Pretty good, I will say, and these look beautiful. Brian over at B-Raw6 basically gave this to me because this is a 1969 Top Super Roy White that is really beat up, drawing on the back, but $4 for a 69 Super. I could not say no. I could not get my money out fast enough. And Brian, it was great to hang with you again as always. I appreciate your friendship and your generosity here with Roy White. I'll be enjoying this card as much as the guy who owned it originally did. And finally, I got to meet my good friend Will Steff for the first time in person. Will is such a supporter of this community and an absolute great guy. I had a pleasure of walking around the show floor with him at his first national and just trying to help him find his big card. And while he didn't find it with me, he did end up working out a deal for it. So I'm super happy for him. And when we were at the Thursday night get together, he had his box of cards and he called me over and he laid this on me, knowing that this was on my list, and just incredibly generous. The 2001 MLB Showdown hollow foil of Albert Pujols, rookie. These were a game back in the day. I used to play it as a kid, and I didn't have the 2001 set, but I did play some of the later years, and just to get this short printed foil Albert Pujols, a rookie card that was on my short list of rookies to add for him from a friend, was just, it meant a lot. Well, thank you so much, man. That was really killer. So this is before I even spent money on the show floor. These were all things I picked up before or got as gifts. I had a really nice show, I think. I didn't go hog wild or pick up any like one big card. As you know, I like to go in without a plan and try to spread out my budget as much as possible and check a lot of boxes. When I was just hanging out in a value box waiting for Joe Force Off Corners to make a big trade, I ended up finding this Lou Brock from Donruss Classics. That's numbered to $24.99 on the back for $1. I saved this 2020 Topps Bo Bichette in a Gem Mint 10 from a value slab box. He was surrounded by a bunch of Gleyber Torres, Keston Hiura, Luis Robert, Kyle Lewis, those kind of types of guys from the junk slab era. But for $10, this was the only one in the box, and I don't think he deserved to be there, as bad of a season as he's had. So I was glad to get the Bo Bichette rookie there, a guy who I think just needs to change the scenery at this point. I am working towards 100 different Hall of Fame autographs, as you guys saw from our Hobby Palooza episode with Jake. And I got 6 more at the show. BCW did these nice National 2024 top loaders. So I got Ron Santo from Upper Deck Etchings. Got this Ralph Kiner Late in Life auto from the Topps Golden Moments. And I got this Donruss Signature Series, Billy Williams. Silver stickers for the win, Lou Rock. I also ended up picking up this Eno Slaughter Perez Steel. And these two 1976 SSPC puzzle pieces, Jim Cott and Rod Carew. Love the baby blue jerseys on both of them, and they're Playing Days autos that I got in this deal of 6, already certified. Could not go wrong. I ended up picking some lower end vintage up as well across the show. I got the 1949 M&P Company of Johnny Mize. The 1962 Topps Bucks early win. These are tough. I ended up scoring the 1964. Challenged the Yankees. It's a Hasbro game, and the seller for this actually bought the entire game with all the cards. So he had the box with the original game and everything. And so he wasn't sure if he was going to break it up. Pulled the card out and then immediately pulled out a sheet and said, I started pricing them out. which made me think, well, he's going to break this up. Let me make an offer. And I was able to get this well below the going rate to add a new playing days Carl Yastrzemski. So that was a really big deal for me. Picked up a 1971 Milk Dud Frank Robinson complete box. Now my biggest Milk Dud box that I own. So that was something I was looking for a long time, and glad that I was able to get a good deal from Woody. And my first purchase of the National, which was my biggest purchase with my budget, I was trying to go in without a plan, and there was one card that was just in the back of my head. Ever since I seen the card about a year ago, I've just been having a safe search for it and thinking it's one of the most beautiful cards I've ever seen. And it's a Cincinnati Reds team issue, so I figured I'm in Ohio. This might be my best chance to pick it up. Well, the first hour of the show, I'm asking all the dealers I can about it when I'm skimming cases. And only two of them knew what I was talking about. They both said they had it in their personal collections, but they didn't have an extra for sale. One of the dealers even told me that, hey, like that might be something that you have to go on the auction houses and find. But I was like, there has to be at least 2 or 3 in here. And good thing I showed my crew a picture of the card before we went in, because the 3 of them had not seen this card before either. And my good friend Drew of Vintage Legacy ended up finding the 1939 Cincinnati Reds Ernie Lombardi team issue. Just such an amazing image. Catcher cards for the win. And I just love that this has the color style of a Burke Ross, but the image is so clear. And I just absolutely love this card. As soon as I saw it, it was something that I knew I just had to own. And man, the fact that my good friend Drew was just finding out about the card hours before, and he finds it for me at a deal that is well below comps. I was absolutely thrilled. I put it in this 2024 national thing that BCW is giving out as well, just to commemorate it as like the card of the show for me. I'm just super blessed to own it. And I know it says 38, but on the back you can clearly say it says that he was the most valuable player and the league's leading hitter in 1938, which means this is the 39. They had pretty similar sets between the 2 years, and it's hard to tell for some players, but Lombardi will tell you. And the Ernie Lombardi 1939 is a Pop 16. So not the most common card in the world to find, but also not the most scarce thing to look for. Drew ended up finding one other one throughout the entire show floor that wasn't graded, and the price tag was a lot more expensive than this gorgeous 4. But because of Drew, I was able to land this fantastic card that I was very much looking for, even though I tried to go in without a plan. And before I cashed out with this dealer, I obviously said, can you do any better than the sticker? And he did. I decided to just look over his case before I pulled my money out and see if there was any other card in his case that I could find and bundle together, because this was going to be my bigger purchase of the show. So lo and behold, I find this 1947 Sports Exchange Miniatures Ted Williams hand cut SGC3. PSA is graded 2 of these. SGC is graded 3 of these. There's very little sales data. And the price tag, much like the Lombardi, was well below market value. So, of course, I bundled the two together and asked for a little bit more off the sticker. and made a deal. And day one, these were pretty much my only two pickups, and I was completely floored to be walking away from the show with a playing days Ted Williams and the Lombardi card of my dreams, all thanks to a friend looking out. Drew of Vintage Legacy, Pastor Craig, Vintage Cards, was also by the table when I picked these up. And then as soon as the deal was over, we ran into a bunch of other YouTubers that I got to graciously show off these two beauties to. Rick Vintage Oddball Cards, Greg's Midlife Card Crisis, Theo Clemente Collector, just so many great dudes in this community. That just looked out for me in one way or the other. And I'm truly so blessed. And it's not just for the people that were at the show with me, but for my amazing girlfriend, Brittany, who also threw me some money when she dropped me off at the airport saying, hey, get a card on me. And she did not have to do that. She went out big for my birthday, but she ended up giving me enough money to, at the end of the day, when I would have been out of money, to be able to score my first 1962 Pittsburgh exhibit, Ken Boyer, 5 of Hearts. PSA has graded 8 of these. These were distributed at the Kennywood Amusement Park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and just truly floored to be able to own one of these. And it's all because a loved one thought of me before I went to the show. I had enough funds left after all these amazing pickups to go out there and grab this. But sorry about that. I had almost forgot to open the other bag for my backpack where I put the oversized stuff. So there is a couple more things that I got, and I'm truly grateful that I was able to obtain all this stuff at the show. My good friend Dave over at Legends of the Dugout gave me this 1983 Red Sox yearbook. Carly Yastrzemski on the cover, his final season. I just mentioned him, but Theo Clemente Collector bought me this 1967 topped poster Carly Yastrzemski that I did not have yet in the collection, so I really appreciate that, Theo. It was super generous of you. It was actually right after I scored that Ken Boyer and I was all out of money. I started texting people that I came here to hang with friends and spend money, and I'm all out of money. Where's everyone at? And I ended up running into Theo. We looked at a dealer's table, and he bought me this. It was just super, super awesome of him to do that. And I scored these 1976 Lynette Boston Red Sox complete packages. So Carlton Fisk, Louis Tiant, Bill Spaceman Lee, Rick Burleson, Rick Wise, and Jim Rice with the afro there. And this one has famous sailing ships on it, this pack. And the other pack has Fred Lynn and Carl Yastrzemski, Dwight Evans and Fergie Jenkins, Rico Petrocelli and Denny Doyle. And these are the great cars of the world. So I had this Yaz already. I didn't have anyone else from the set. I didn't have complete pages. And I was able to get those for a really good deal as well. Thank you to those of you that stuck through to the end of this national recap. Like I said, the cards and the stuff you get to see and pick up is amazing, but it truly is about the people. It's about those relationships. Thursday night get-together was one of the highlights of the week, per usual. There was over 200 people there. They had pizza, open bar, and just tons of great people and great vibes throughout the entire night. Friday night, I went to a card event hosted by the dealer Ashish. And he had it at the Aviator in Cleveland, which is a real ritzy place with a buffet. The food was amazing and much needed after eating sun butter and jelly sandwiches all week at the show, and had a great time there at a smaller event, maybe 60, 100 people, and some people that I had met for the first time that weren't in the YouTube community, and some other people that I got more FaceTime with that I didn't the night before. So that was a really cool thing to kind of cap off the weekend. Got to spend some time at the Misfit Airbnb, which was a beautiful place with a bunch of dear friends there as well. And just great times all around. So thank you to each and every one of you who made this trip what it was. It was truly amazing, and I hope no matter which national I go to next that I get to see as many of you there as possible. Appreciate you guys watching as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.